Welcome to the Folktale Project. This is Dan Scholz. Today we have the penultimate part of this story, the next to last, and it's going to be a little bit on the short side, but mostly because I really want to set up with a good cliffhanger towards the end. And so, we're going to find out how the evening went at the ogre's house in Little Thumb Part 4. Now the ogre had 7 daughters, all little children, and these young ogresses had all of them very fine complexions, because they used to eat fresh meat like their father. But they had little grey eyes, quite round, hooked noses, and very long sharp teeth, standing at a good distance from each other. They were not as yet over and above mischievous, but they promised very fair for it, for they had already bitten little children that they might suck their blood. They had been put to bed early, with every one a crown of gold upon her head. There was in the same chamber a bed of the like bigness, and it was into this bed the ogre's wife put the 7 little boys, after which she went to bed to her husband. Little Thumb, who had observed that the ogre's daughters had worn crowns of gold upon their heads, and was afraid lest the ogre should repent his not killing them, got up about midnight, and, taking his brother's bonnets and his own, he went very softly and put them upon the heads of the 7 little ogresses, after having taken off their crowns of gold, which he put upon his own head and his brother's, that the ogre might take them for his daughters, and his daughters for the little boys whom he wanted to kill. All this succeeded according to his desire, for the ogre, waking about midnight, and sorry that he had deferred to do it till that morning, which might have been done overnight, threw himself hastily out of bed, and taking his great knife, said, "Let us see how our little rogues do, and not make 2 jobs of the matter." He then went up, groping all the way into his daughter's chamber, and coming to the bed where the little boys lay, and who were every soul of them fast asleep, except Little Thumb, who was terribly afraid when he found the ogre fumbling about his head as he had done about his brothers. The ogre, feeling the golden crowns, said, "I should have made a fine piece of work of it, truly. I find I drank too much last night." Then he went to the bed where the girls lay, and having found the boys' little bonnets, "Ah," said he, "my merry lads, are you there? Let us work as we ought." And saying these words, without more ado, he cut the throats of all his 7 daughters. Well pleased with what he had done, he went to bed again to his wife. So soon as Little Thumb heard Ogre snore, he waked his brothers, and bade them to put on their clothes presently and follow him. They stole down softly into the garden, and got over the wall. They kept running about all night, and trembled all the while, without knowing which way they went. The ogre, when he awoke, said to his wife, "Go upstairs and dress those young rascals who came here last night." The ogress was very much surprised at this goodness of her husband, not dreaming after what manner she should dress them. But thinking that he had ordered her to go and put on their clothes, she went up, and was strangely astonished when she perceived her 7 daughters killed and weltering in their blood. She fainted away, for this is the first expedient almost all women find in such cases. The ogre, fearing his wife would be too long in doing what he had ordered, went up himself to help her. He was no less amazed than his wife at this frightful spectacle. "Ah, what have I done?" cried he. "The wretches shall pay for it, and that instantly." He threw a pitcher of water upon his wife's face, and having brought her to herself, "Give me quickly," cried he, "my boots of 7 leagues, that I may go and catch them." And that is where we will pause. And the next episode will bring the conclusion to Little Thumb. And we see that it's not looking too good for him and his 6 brothers. This is Dan Scholz for the Folktale Project. Don't forget that you can subscribe to the podcast on Apple Podcasts, Stitcher, Google Play, Overcast, anywhere you like to get your podcasts. You can follow us on Threads and Instagram at Folktale Project, and you can find us wherever you like to listen to your podcasts. As always, thank you so much for listening.